Hey RV family, keep it tight. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, reviewing music for the love of music, and I'm back again to bring you another video. And in this one, I'm going to be going over some of my most anticipated records of 2021. This has been a tradition on the channel for a few years now, and before we get into the main meat of the year, I just wanted to go over some releases that are both confirmed and that I am going to personally project for the upcoming year. The first half is going to be the records that have been confirmed to be coming out this year, and the second half of the video are going to be bands that seemingly should release or will release a record in 2021, or just one that I would really like to see. But with that being said, let me know down in the comment section below what records you are most anticipating in 2021, and let's get right into it. Starting off the list with Harakiri for the Sky with Mare. I've always loved Harakiri's approach to atmospheric black metal and having so much atmosphere within their own sound that a new record from them is something I'm super excited for, not to mention the singles have just been very good up until this point. Architects with For Those That Wish to Exist. Based on the singles, I'm not sure if this is necessarily going to measure up to the same degree as Holy Hell, especially considering that what went into that record is going to be a lot different than what goes into this record. I am still super excited for a new Architects record in 2021 and hope that they come and kick ass, even if it's not as good as Holy Hell. Holding Absence with The Greatest Mistake of My Life, one of my most anticipated records of the year that mostly comes from the fact I think they're very underrated. I think they're one of post-hardcore's best kept secrets. I have a whole video essay I want to do on them. I think Lucas is one of the best vocalists in the scene right now, and I think their songwriting is wonderful. Their self-titled record is fucking amazing. So for a new record to be coming out, even though I'm kind of sad that some non-album singles aren't on this record, I really think that this is going to be a release to keep your eye on. Viscera is dropping a new record this year most likely, and even though it is currently unnamed and does not have a release date, if their track record says anything, I think this record's going to be awesome. The last few Viscera's records have been very good. Carcass is obviously releasing Torn Arteries this year, and like I said in my review of Despicable as well as in the EPs video, if those were the leftovers, I cannot wait to see what Carcass does on a full length. I know a lot of people disagree with the melodic death metal approach, blah blah blah, but I think this is going to be a release that's going to be awesome. Like Viscera's, Archspire is going to be dropping a record this year, but it is currently untitled and no release date yet, but they are, and it has been confirmed that they are releasing a record this year. I cannot wait for the Tech Death Giants to return. Their speed, their aggression, their violence is just so awesome to see. The way they string together technicality really excites me for a record from them. Nothing Nowhere is going to be releasing Trauma Factory. A lot of singles have dropped in anticipation of this record, and they have all had different feels, different vibes, different aesthetics, and it really excites me to see what the rest of the record is going to present, because some tracks based on the singles have been better than others, so I'm curious what direction really takes the forefront, because one genre is going to win out. I'm curious to see which. Brand of Sacrifice with Lifeblood. This is another record that has just slowly but surely made it to the top of my anticipated list. Cannot fucking wait for this thing. I really like Brand of Sacrifice. I think they're very underrated, and Demon King, if nothing else, should show people that they need to get ready. This could be one of those records that come around once a year for a genre and just blow people away. Belphegor is dropping a new record. Once again, it is unnamed with no release date. It's kind of funny because I've been going back through Belphegor's material because I've thought about doing a worst to best albums video for the band, as I do think they're one of the cooler, more frigid, kind of low-key black metal bands that have a very brittle sound, but are still sort of accessible and not really hard to understand. Soen is going to be dropping Imperial. While I think they are a bit of an overrated progressive band in my personal opinion based on what I have heard of them, it is still a release I want to keep my eyes on and put on your guys' radar as well. Mastodon is dropping a record this year, confirmed. Once again, no release date or name yet, but a lot of people are hyped as shit for this, and it's not hard to figure out why. I haven't been as big of a fan of their recent releases as some other people, but a Mastodon record in 2021, I can't wait to see what direction they go in, because they've just slowly but surely progressed their sound just more and more. Foo Fighters is going to be dropping Medicine at Midnight. While Foo Fighters' sound has dulled over the years, they are one of the better hard rock rock bands still at large and sort of alternative rock and post-grunge bands, so I'm curious to see what they're able to offer this year. Rob Zombie's going to be releasing the Lunar Injection Kool-Aid Eclipse Conspiracy. Rob Zombie, sort of like Foo Fighters, dulled a bit over the years in terms of songwriting, but a release in 2021 excites me to say the least. It's intriguing if nothing else, especially considering how left field and wacky and off the beaten path he is, and the title really would lead to believe that as well. Epica is going to be dropping Omega. While Epica can come off as a little bit cringy and corny to a lot of people, they're actually one of the bands in their style that I can bear the most and can understand the most and enjoy the performances of the most, so it's a release that I am going to be keeping my eyes on. Frozen Soul with Crypt of Ice. This is a release that's releasing very soon. A death metal project that deserves more credit and deserves more notoriety. They have some doom metal sections, but for the most part, they are an old school death metal sounding band that really does the style good. The Body is going to be dropping I've Seen All I Need to See. The Body, holy shit, the fact that they are just still at large makes me so happy, because there's very few bands that encompass how many genres they put into their music, having that sludge, distorted, noisy, dense sounding music. It's so unparalleled for many bands that I'm waiting to see what they do on a full length this year. Cult of Luna is dropping an EP, The Raging River. I really enjoyed their last full length, so I'm hoping that it is another good outing. I think Cult of Luna benefits from being longer, so I'm curious to see what they do on an EP and how that really functions. Korpiklani is going to be dropping Jilla. I don't like that many folk metal bands as much as I do like folk music, and it takes a specific style to really appeal to me. I've liked Agalok's material, I've liked Sayor's material, and I have liked Korpiklani's material, so I want to see if they can make a good folk metal record this year, because I feel like there is sort of a deficiency that just isn't showing many. To say the least, there is a deficit for good folk metal. The Ruins of Beverest is going to be dropping the full Grimoires. I cannot wait for this. Ruins of Beverest is one of those bands that they get some attention, they get some credibility, but not nearly enough for what they deserve. The amount of just consistency they've had and the amount that their discography is so good. I love their discography. I think they have pretty much a flawless discography, and their combination of extreme metal styles is just fucking amazing, and I cannot wait to see in 2021 how they approach their style, how they approach their sound, and I hope that it's good. Acid Mammoth is going to be dropping Caravan. Anyone that knows me from 2020 will know that I really liked Under Acid Hoof, so another Acid Mammoth record is going to be awesome to see. Yes, it is going to be Sabbath worship most likely, but it's still going to be a really fun time that I just can't wait for. A Day to Remember is going to be dropping You're Welcome. I haven't been a big fan of A Day to Remember recently. I much prefer their initial material, but I feel like I hold out some hope that it's going to be a record that, while it will be a bit one-dimensional, it's still going to present some cool things. This is the fun part. This is the section where I'm going to be projecting some releases from bands that should have the trajectory to release something this year, or that I really personally am anticipating. And feel free to leave bands that haven't confirmed anything, but you're curious if they're going to drop something this year. So starting off, I think Veil of Maya is definitely going to drop something this year. I don't know if it's going to be an EP or if it's going to be an album, but I would be very, very surprised if they did not release something this year. Same goes with Era. I think that with their re-signing and with the singles they've dropped, it just seems like it makes sense for them to release something in the later part of the year. I would probably slate it maybe between July and September would be a time when they probably would release something, maybe later, but I think Era's definitely going to make a return this year, and I can't wait for it. Born of Osiris is kind of in that same camp, where The Simulation was supposed to be a two-part album, and it just dropped off. That was released, I believe, in 2018, and it was so bite-sized. It's 2021 now, and we've still not gotten anything from Born of Osiris, and I'm just wondering where it is. Have they dropped the Simulation Part 2? Have they made a new album? Are they making a new album? I want to know and I want to see that, so I hope we get some news from them this year. Metallica, Megadeth, and Iron Maiden, I think, should be releasing material either this year or early next year. Metallica's the one that I think we know for a fact is most likely going to be dropping a full length in 2021. I know they did the repackaging last year, but I think they are going to put a new studio length album out. Same with Megadeth and hopefully, fingers crossed, Iron Maiden. I find it hard to believe that Bring Me the Horizon will not drop something this year, with the news that they are going to be focusing more so on EPs that are going to amalgamate into Post-Human, which is going to be the album that is every release from these EPs. Obviously, they did Post-Human Survival Horror, so I'm expecting another EP at the bare minimum, if not the real album, but I feel like it should probably just be an EP. Devin Townsend, even though I wasn't a big fan of Empath and I think it was overhyped as shit, I really want to see more from Devin, because he's one of those artists that every time he drops something, it's so much cause to just be joyous for a moment, because he has a prog style that makes him fun to listen to. That's all I can really say on that. I think Meshuggah probably will drop something this year. I would not be surprised if we do see a Meshuggah release this year. Same with Gojira. I think both of them are sort of overdue for releases, and if they don't, I wouldn't be super surprised, but with the trajectory, looking at when they release records, looking at news of the band and what band members have said, I think either of them could release releases this year and it wouldn't be that surprising. Infant Annihilator, I could really see Infant Annihilator releasing a record this year. The Battle of Yalda Bow Off was really fun, and I think that they're what deathcore sort of needs right now in terms of just a really fun, explosive band, because deathcore's really having a decent time. There are some good releases coming out of some bands, and I think to balance it out, we need some of the sort of silly, zany bands like Infant Annihilator, like Rings of Saturn. And I guess I can kind of lump Rings of Saturn in there, where I feel like they could definitely drop something this year, and it wouldn't surprise me that much. I think Slipknot could definitely be dropping something this year. We Are Not Your Kind was one of those releases that caught people sort of off guard, even though people knew about it, because it was just very good, and in my opinion, one of Slipknot's best records. If I did a worst to best, it would probably rank very high on that list. So I want to see them build on that. I know there's been a lot with the band. I know that it's been such a tumultuous time overall, but I think that could craft some great music. While it is a long shot, Cattle Decapitation could drop something this year, either an EP or a record. This seems like the type of social and political climate that would cause them to get in the studio and just say fuck you, basically. Like, they seem like the type of band that could definitely come back with a really great record in this climate and embody it. So I have some of the old school type death metal bands that I want to lump together and say that I could see them dropping either a full-length album or an EP or a demo this year. I'm going to say Cerebral Rot, Tomb Mold, Witch Vomit, Mortiferum, and Coffins. I think these bands would do great this year, and I would love to see them return, especially Cerebral Rot. I love Cerebral Rot, I've said that before, and I guess the second that I'd be most anticipating would probably be Mortiferum or Coffins. We need those slabs of old school death metal that just beat out the others. Can Bell Witch drop their own record? Stygian Bow was okay. I really thought it was disappointing. I have stated that in my disappointing albums video. I want to hear another full-length Bell Witch. I want to hear the sequel to Mirror Reaper. I want to hear what they're able to do. That would just be amazing. It has been one of my most anticipated things for years, but we just won't get it yet. King Gizzard and the Lizard Wizard, I am fully expecting they will come back this year. These guys don't stop, they don't quit. What are they going to do next? I don't think anyone can project that. I don't think anyone can predict that. They're probably going to come through with some hip-hop power electronics record, because they can't settle. They can't do anything just normal. And even though their last record was just okay in my eyes, I did enjoy more of it than I didn't. I think it left a lot to be desired, and I want to see them do more with their sound in 2021, hopefully. After the disappointment disappointment that was the Octagonal Stairway. I hope Pig Destroyer comes through with a full length, maybe, or just another EP that feels more like the first half of that EP, because they really dropped the ball on that second half, and I think we're long overdue for like a sequel to Headcage, so I want to see them come back with a sequel to Headcage. Even though Headcage was disappointing in many ways, they could do a lot if they wanted to go in that direction of just overwhelming heaviness. Please God, can we get a Nails record in 2021? If Nails returned, they could yoink Album of the Year like it's nobody's business. I want to hear a Nails record in 2021, and if it's anything like their discography, it will be so good. I just really hope they do not squander their potential. I hope that when they do make a comeback, it doesn't feel underwhelming at all. That would be the saddest thing. Poppy, I think she definitely could come out with a release this year. I disagree was shorter in the grander scheme of things, and with the re-signing to Sumerian Records, as well as the split from Titanic Sinclair, and she's definitely shown that she wants to make more music. I think that it wouldn't be too far-fetched to see an EP, because she has been known to do EPs such as the Choke EP, or just a full-length album. Organectomy. I would love to hear an Organectomy record in 2021. This is sort of a passion band for me. They are like a slamming brutal death metal, slamming brutal deathcore band. It's a comfort band for me. It's one of those bands I like collecting things from, and I enjoy them. And if they drop something this year, I'd be a kid in a candy store. Blood Incantation. They need to make a comeback. They need to come back. Hidden History of the Human Race, I believe it was called, made so many waves in the underground for good reason. And if they can come back with a demo, or preferably a full-length album that reaches that same level, they are going to be well on their way to being one of the most recognizable and best modern death metal bands in the underground. See You Space Cowboy. They had a really busy 2019, so it made me really sad to see them sort of not make anything in 2020 for the most part, and I just love their hyper-aggressive sasscore, grindcore, power violent sound that mixed metalcore with post-hardcore, and they had a lot of influences that I really was digging and really fucking with. I pretty much loved everything they did in 2019, so please do more. Knocked Loose. Different Shade of Blue was a wonderful little record, and I just want to see them come back. They are one of the better metalcore bands at large right now, and I put them right up there with some of the best of the best. And to see them have sort of a silence period, it's kind of sad. And Motionless in White. Disguise was a shock for a lot of people. A lot of people that didn't particularly usually like Motionless in White really dug into this record, and it's not hard to see why. This record was great, and it had a lot of highlights. It had some weak points too, and while it might not have been some of their best material, it had some of their best songs on it. So are they going to come back in 2021? I guess time will tell, but I think it wouldn't be too surprising. And those are my most anticipated and projected releases of 2021. Be sure to let me know in the comment section below what your most anticipated and projected records of the year are and why. I can't wait to hear it, as well as the releases here. Did I maybe let you know something was releasing that you didn't know was releasing? Like this video if you enjoyed it, subscribe to join the review family today, and smash that notification bell to be notified of my future uploads. You know who it is. My name is Jay Morris, the Review Guy, and I'm signing off saying farewell.